What's your secret that could really ruin your life if it came out? I and my little sister have played with each other's bodies, if you know what I mean, when I was in middle school. I don't remember well exactly when it happened. I think I was 15 or 16 and she is 2 years younger than me. Back then, we still share a bedroom that we shared since childhood. I first discovered masturbation when I was around 11, and since I didn't know better that time, although I hid it from parents, I never hid it from my sister even when she's in the room. The same goes to her. I didn't remember when she found out masturbation, but she didn't hide it either when she was touching her private parts through her clothes. Come the aforementioned age, we were curious about stuffs and began to touch each other. Well, mostly I did the touching, but with my sister's consent. Thankfully we never went too far because she absolutely refused to touch my genitals or let me touch hers. We only played with our bodies except for the genitals, which remain untouched. Weirdly, I don't remember how it ended either. There was no special event that put an end, like being found out, or "Oh my god, what have I done" moment. It just stopped. Maybe slowly both of us just lost interest and stopped doing that. We never told anyone about this and had never brought it up even once ever since. To this day I have never touched my sister in a sexual way ever again. I faked my way into a top 10 lakh in the US. As an international student whose high school teachers weren't very deft with the English language, I wrote my own recommendations, made up my own transcript and forged theirs as well as my principal's signature. I blatantly lied about my achievements just so I could get in and not end up languishing in my home country's educational system. I get a significant amount of need-based financial aid, so I suppose I am stealing money that could have gone to someone more worthy of admission. I don't feel guilty, but I really hate college. Karma, I guess. I really loved my ex-girlfriend. I was being very serious when I told her that I intended to spend my life with her. It has been 8 months since we broke up and I still harbor the same feelings, although I don't admit it to anyone. Our relationship ended just because of the long distance between us. Now she has found another boyfriend and if Facebook love signs are to be believed, they are very much in love. I feel terribly sad. But I pretend that I don't care and am quite cheerful outwardly. I had a very tumultuous relationship with my parents before going to college. It involved physical beatings and emotional abuse. I, for some time, absolutely hated them. They behave really nicely now and everything seems alright. But I feel really scared sometimes. And on some occasions I have weird fantasies in which I imagine them dying off due to some accident and get an uplifting sensation of freedom. Don't get me wrong, I love them very much. I just don't know why it happens. I am a pathological liar. I will lie to almost anyone and am more likely to lie to people I know well than people I don't. The worst part is, I barely ever recognize that I'm actually saying something that isn't true. Lying is a reflex for me in the same way shooting is a reflex for a trained soldier. To complicate the situation, I have a really bad memory, meaning I never remember the lies I tell. This has only forced me to become an even more masterful storyteller. I mean, I even have 2 or 3 answers on Quora which are lies, but no one would ever know because I really am too skilled for my own good. It's honestly scary, realizing that I don't even know how many lies I've told or to who or even what they were about. Thank goodness my life still remains authentic indeed, although not in word. I'm a perfectionist. I know and realize that perfection is impossible in reality, but still have urges to expect perfection from myself and others. While this makes me a good deliverer, I'm a software engineer, I am scared that I will turn out to be a bad manager because I'll have unreal expectations of people and would expect them to put in a lot more than they would want to. I'm afraid that this will ruin professional relationships. The same goes on the personal front. I'm 25, male and yet haven't had a proper relationship. Mostly because once I get to know someone closely, there inevitably are things that show up as weaknesses that make me want to cut it off. I've lost a very beautiful and great girl to this idiocy, and this is the first time I'm regretting it since this time the loss is permanent. She recently married someone else. Maybe it will help me learn something and improve. If you guys have ideas, I'm more than willing to listen. P.S. I do realize that I'm not perfect, neither is someone else. All I wish for myself is to be more accepting and accommodating. 1. That I actually cheated my way into one of the country's most prestigious institutions. I would have gotten a good university, but not this good. 2. that I find unusual, unexpected public intimacy with females, a copper feel here on the bus, a brush there in the tube. You know what I'm saying. Invigorating and really stimulating. However, none of these are intentional. 3. That I've cheated with 3 of my good friends' girlfriends, and 2 of them at the same time. And I've been to a party where all 3 were present at the same time, when I met the third one. 4. Like a non-user, I tend to lie for no reason sometimes, just to see if it makes things interesting. I've landed up in a soup on more than one occasion because of that. 1. Pretty much want to have literal sex with everyone I find remotely interesting. Always. No exceptions due to age, gender, orientation, or species. 2. The suffering of others, especially those closest to me, makes me feel more alive and happy, connected with the universe. 3. Don't believe in most basic human rights. 4. No matter when we meet, contemplated killing myself or others that day. If you're really lucky, you will trigger the thought either way. My dream is to find someone that makes me feel both. 5. Really enjoy having sex with prostitutes, with a very slight preference for those who enjoy the job or fake the enjoyment. 6. Have never been able to finish anything I start, and don't have ambition or a desire to work at all if I can help it. I'm a 25-year-old man who's been dating a woman for 5 years now. I love her and enjoy having sex with her. However, since I was a child, I've watched male gay porn on the internet. I don't consider myself gay because I don't want to get involved emotionally or sexually with men in real life. However, I love watching videos with men having sex with each other, and I masturbate on cam with male strangers. Also, men attract me on the streets. I like to watch them and observe their bodies. I'm planning to marry my girlfriend and I really don't know how it'll be from marriage on. I'm just sure that I'll never cheat on her with anybody. I believe it's my choice even if I like to see naked men. 2.5 years ago I was in dire financial straits, so I sold my home to keep my struggling business afloat. I neglected to tell the owners that they have an 800 square feet bunker on the property that I built about 7 years ago. The bunker that I've called home since I sold it. The entrance to it is well hidden, but I still come and go very early, very late in the day. I'm a single man who keeps to himself. I'm now in a situation where I could move somewhere else, but I love this hidden paradise so much. I'm a wife beater. Not in a serial way, and not in a way that caused massive injuries. Or any injuries, actually. We were having an argument, and I got up in her face. She has issues with that, due to childhood trauma, but I was too angry to think. She shoved me away, I grabbed her arms, and we started grappling. I lost control and smacked her in the side of the face. I broke her glasses. It's never happened again. It's the most shameful thing I've ever done in my life. I am a huge advocate for women's rights and against spousal abuse, yet I'm no better. Going through some very traumatic times in my late 20s and early 30s, I stumbled upon the world of BDSM. What an education that was. To this day, the memories of those experiences bring an adrenaline rush to my body. I vividly remember the feeling of my hormones hitting the roof and it's getting hot in here, I cannot concentrate anymore. Lol. I am now reading the book, 50 Shades of Grey. This book brings back so many memories. Frankly, I miss that world. I never answer anon. Ever. So why would I answer this question? Because I don't give a shit anymore. My secret that could ruin my life if it were exposed really isn't much of a secret on Quora. I am a drug addict. I have been a drug addict for 20 years. I work every day, my job is technical. But I work for a large company that produces food product for markets worldwide. I am not a random line worker, I make the recipes. If it were to become known that I was a daily methamphetamine user, I would lose my job and everything I own. I got raped while in jail. Most people don't even know that I spent time in jail, much less that I was raped while there. My wife grew up in a very religious environment where they still don't have any tolerance for anything outside of a proper male-female relationship. Their feelings on rape in general is that the person who was raped was somehow responsible. She helped me turn my life around, and losing her would pretty much be the end of life for me. I have told my employers and colleagues that I have completed a 4-year college degree. In truth, I dropped out of college 1 class short of finishing my 2-year degree. I also tell people that I am a member of my professional association, but I often let that membership lapse for some time before paying my dues to rejoin. I sometimes imagine in detail, and with some kind of sick pleasure, the things I would gain if my mom died. Her nice things, the house. I even imagine how I'd throw away all of her junk. She's almost a hoarder. This thought comes pretty often to mind, maybe once every fortnight. Despite the fact that I really love her, she's the only family that I have, and I'd be devastated if she died. Whenever I get these thoughts, I chase them away, but they keep coming back. I say I have read and agreed to the terms. I don't.